paste the URL onto Twitter. Put this on here, back live again. Hold on, Steve, before I bring you in. And so we'll carry on then. While I do this, and I'll repost it. So what were we saying then previously? Just
we're just talking about, like, obviously with the football and that, Tommy. I mean, as I say, I think they can put 35,000, 40,000 in for the free game every week, mate. But you can't tell me they're looking at the East End with the lights on a Wednesday night with Champions League music playing in it. I mean, we should actually put the old World War II air raid shelter, the speakers up, the loudspeakers out in Glasgow, and we'll get the Champions League games on, we just zap the city with the music, you know?
That's me just tweeting it out. There we go. Yeah, that other mob are skinnered to the bits now. I mean, they're lashing out all over the place. I've not listened in the last few nights with Clyde. Have you listened into the old Clyde at all?
I tell you what I did, Tommy. I mean, I actually phoned them up. I mean, I know you're relentless with it, but I actually decided this week, right, I gave them the close season and I went, right, are they going to refresh the package? Are they going to get new people on? Are they going to send Keevans to college for 3 months to learn about financial business and that? And it's just, I mean, the boy Vic Hawk doesn't seem too bad, but it's the same old crap, Tommy, you know, and they're doing it pish. I mean, I've got a couple of mates that are Safeco fans, and at the end of the day, Tommy, it's working class weekends, alright, they're out there, but the Scottish media, whether it be the newspapers or the people on the TV or the radio, are lying to folk, mate, because when the pantomime finishes at Ibrox again, and there's 35,000 people being robbed of season ticket money, at the end of the day, it's theft. And in my eyes, they're accomplices to it, because they're just selling the golden dream that doesn't exist, Tommy.
No.
You know what I mean? And MD, there's Alex. They're actually trying to chastise a journalist like Alex Thompson, who does fantastic work in Syria. I mean, MD can do blogs or whatever. I mean, the guy who writes for them saying they're quoting Alex Thompson for his Syria stuff. He's floating about. He's doing articles about that tragedy in France yesterday. I mean, the guy's a world-class journalist, and there's some hack sitting somewhere in Glasgow quoting him off, Tommy. You know what I mean? It's frightening, mate. It's absolutely disgusting.
But the whole episode now has left a real bitter, sour taste in my mouth, you know, to see how they've acted, how they're continuing to act. I mean, for me, I mean, what's your take on it? Are you feeling the same way a bit? Are you feeling scunnered by it, the fact that how they're reacting, how they're behaving, how it's all going to end up?
I think you've really got to. I mean, actually, I was at a party about 3 weeks ago. It was just after the Aberdeen game, and I was actually standing with a member of the Rangers coaching staff, or Safeco coaching staff. He was a member of the Rangers coaching staff, and he was telling me. I mean, I've said to the lads on the various shows, he was actually at the Legends games against AC Milan, and that was the first time, Tommy, in about 25 years that the players' bar was a cash bar. They had to buy their own drinks. You know, they had Maldini there and whoever else, and they had to buy their booze. I mean, I think it's showing up. The whole episode, whether it be the SPL, the SFA, the SLV, the SFL, are being just so compliant to keeping this organisation, whatever it is, these 45,000 people. It's not about the club they're worried about, mate. It's just keeping this cash cow on what it's actually running on, which is mostly bigotry to keep the money in Scotland, mate, you know.
And do you think, well, it's reckoned that the full liquidation is going to take place at the week after next, so between the 15th and 22nd on the BBC website, it changes from the fixtures from Rangers to the Rangers PLC. So at some point in a week and a half, BDO are going to come in, and they've got a choice basically, Stephen, of coming in and rolling back whatever's happened. Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, I mean, I think basically whatever's happened now, Tommy, the whole escapade, whether it be Craig White and whether it be people coming in and people coming out, I think a lot of it's been speculation, and there's a lot of educated guys and a lot of internet bampots and crackpots like myself sort of doing detective and guesswork. But I think when the government gets involved, basically the good book comes out and they just go they have to do. And it happened to Airdrie, which became whatever they're called now, Airdrie United. I mean, Airdrie Onions became Airdrie United. The actual Jabba trainer came out with a great comment saying, Airdrie Onions badge actually lies in storage now. And Lords and Nimble Smith says, if you want the badge, you take the debt. So I think it's a case of, it's going to vanish. There's going to be 35 or 40,000 people being robbed again this season ticket money. And there's no product there. I mean, basically, I read a fantastic blog by somebody that done on Charles Green's behaviour when he was at Sheffield United. And basically, there's not been any governance. He's basically went in there, gave them what they wanted, told them what they wanted, got players which they shouldn't have been able to buy or whatever. But I think there's a lack of contrition, there's a lack of but we've done it. And I'm not saying that all the fans knew, but you can't tell me that we had a bigger stadium and they could go and buy better players than us. We had the same sponsorship deal, and it's ended up if it's the great sub David, I'll call him that now because he probably won't have it much longer. If guys like that are hard to blame, do we have to send a massive state pie to Ibrox when the liquidation happens to let them know they're actually dead? Or send them a couple of thousand mask cards or something, mate, Because this...
Somebody needs to get a hearse. If anybody's got a spare hearse that day, I will drive it there. I will do a live show driving a hearse around the whole of Ibrox, and somebody can take a picture.
I'll tell you what I'll do, mate, right? See if you've got a hearse, I'll do it. Hannibal did in the A-team and jump in the back when the coffin pops up and I've got a Kalashnikov full of squishy wet holy water and squishy them alright. But as I say, mate, it's an institution, or whatever you call it, that would be missed by the good people of Glasgow, whether it be if you're Somalian or Irish Lithuanian like myself, they wouldn't be missed us.
But the thing is, that is the problem, the way I'm looking at it just now. They are here. The authorities have bent over always to satisfy them, to keep them happy, to keep all the bigoted masses happy. Because Rangers, for them, they are more than a football club. They're a psychopathic institution and breeding ground. It's not about a religion. It's not about being Protestant, because to be Protestant, there's many of the great Celtic fans and players. So it's about, because I'm making this distinction now, just because they're that small-minded and bigoted that they judge people by their own standard, right? So I can't be classed as by saying that all the Rangers fans, that the incubator of hate that they have became cocooned in is nothing to do with religion. Well, the religion it's got a lot to do with is a religion called Rangers FC, and this identity and this false culture that they've bred amongst themselves, that this false culture of being British, that even the high Hegians of the establishment wipe their brows and their hands, or want to wipe their hands with them and say, we don't want these unwashed, illiterate masses, because for so long the communities of the Shankill and of Ibrox and Govan relied on the shipyards, so the young, they didn't have to tell their boys to go to school or do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or doing their ABCs. It was alright because you could just walk in, smash a few plates together, smash a few things. You had an apprenticeship there, so there was no basis of wanting to educate. So the whole thing about being stupid and dummified, the whole thing about the inaction we've seen from Rangers fans is because they don't know how to do stuff like that, is too educated above their station. And again, this isn't against Protestants, this is against the ideology of Rangers, where their fans have lived in a cocoon and they've been allowed to exist in this cocoon of we are the people by a complicit society who only wants to keep them in check because of their number and their size, and they shite it and everything. I remember, right, this is from, I'll not tell you where, I was going to tell you where, but a head cop who resigned a couple of years ago when Pope John Paul II was close to dying. It was on an eve of an Old Firm game. It was about a year before he actually died. But they were saying decades of the Rosary, and the Strathclyde police that preceding week to the Old Firm game that he didn't pop his clogs. Oh well, Papa. And it was serious. It was that bad at the time because they couldn't have coped if the Pope had died in the week preceding, because well, it would have been that. Well, you just imagine it. I mean, so the Rangers, this ideology of Rangers has not been allowed to die. The club, they've done the car wash bankruptcy. They've brought it in place. Now it remains to be seen. Are BDO going to deliver the headshot and say this is not allowed to happen? Everything you have done for the last 6 months is repealed. We want a full investigation. We'll shut it down, or they allow the facade to carry on. This is the decision point. At what point, as far as I'm concerned, if they allow this charade to come on and don't take the headshot and take the zombies out, because this is a failed ideology. This is a failed social experiment. An ideology like Nazism and like Zionism, like communism. What we've got is Rangersism. What we've got is we are the peopleism. What we've got is an ideology that is corrupt and made Scottish society bankrupt. The Armageddon for Scotland wasn't for the rest of society. It was only for the Rangersism. And they are dead. But the Southcote has bred a new monster. What do you say to that, brother?
Well, I mean, I think the main point is, Tommy, as Alex Thompson says, there's not been enough coverage of this in the mainland United Kingdom press, as it would be England or London. But I think once the tax case is proven, and it's obviously it's not just about the organisation that was Glasgow Rangers Football Club, it's the whole David Murray empire, which will be caused I think approximately of £1,000 million that he's cost the British taxpayer. So when you start talking about those figures, that's when people in London start saying what's happened here, and I think that's when the searchlight will go on there, and the small ridiculous society we live in up here, which is totally conformed to keeping that organisation alive, will just be showed up as saying, well, there's about 70 or 80 million people in the United Kingdom, there's 5 million of them in Scotland. This guy's cost the British banking system £1,000 million, close them down. And that's how I think it'll play. And so it'll be a bigger effect, as it'll be his whole business empire. It won't just be the small, these Gallus cowboys or whatever he's what they called them that play the Ibrox, you know. But as I say, I think it's even with the SFA, Tommy, they never for day one made a fade to Paul Larkin and all that. Surely, when they sort of knew how this was going, they should have got the dynamics in place and have a plan to deal with it. But when you've got guys like Campbell, everybody on the BBC has got an EBT, the Channel 5 people, STV. There's just too many people tainted in it, Tommy, you know. So what happens when I actually sent an email to the BBC and Paul Larkin did a blog on it. Basically, I complained to the BBC saying, look, I pay my TV licence money. You've got a man here who categorically denied having an EBT, and now he's come out and says he had one. I said, he's lying on British Broadcasting Corporation. I said, I'm paying his wages, he shouldn't be on it. You know, people's been kicked off in the media world for less, Tommy, you know what I mean?
What's happened? What's transpired since, or anything?
Oh, no, yeah, I got an email back from them saying that they were more than happy that basically he hadn't done anything illegal. He had said what he'd said. I mean, if you look at Paul Larkin's website, Paul's done a blog on it, sort of thing, and it was basically the email I'd sent to the BBC, I'd forwarded it to Harper, the reply I got, and I sent it to Paul as well. And it's on Paul's website, mate, so as I say,
if you've got a chance later on, mate, post a link onto my Twitter if you get a chance for everybody else to share as well, right?
I no problem, mate.
Because I mean, it's fascism. I had a call earlier on in the week. I spoke to Lorraine Herbison at Clyde, right? Because I'd read the letter on Swallow Swallow, the fanzine thing, mate, for the other side, right? And on it was a letter from a fan, a Rangers, a Sevco fan, who hadn't even listened to the show and had got the thoughts and opinions of other Sevco fans on there, and wrote a letter to Graham Bryce. And this Graham Bryce, I posted it on my Citizen blog, my Citizen journalism one, a letter from Graham Bryce, this Rangers fan who hadn't even listened to the show, saying that how this Tommy was well known and he tried to keep him off, but he uses sophisticated methods. And then I phoned this Lorraine Herbison, and she went, I've never known anyone to use so many SIM cards and different aliases and names to go on. I says, listen, Hen, I've been phoning for 26 years as a 14-year-old boy, and a wee upstart like you's not going to put me off here. And then she kept going on saying, the reason why she didn't want me on, right, was because she's frightened that I'll say something to break their Ofcom code, right? I'll lose their Ofcom licence. And even in the 7-second dump button, that's where that comes into play. But I never heard anything so ludicrous. But I'm not giving up on that. I'm going to seek other methods, and you know me, I'll be on there whenever I want, because they need to be lucky all the time. I only need to be lucky once.
I mean,
fascism, mate. That's what it is. Fascism.
The whole concept of the Clyde station, Tommy, I mean, is a few of my mates were black taxi drivers, and they done the charity run to the Troon this year, and George Bowie was supposed to be there with the Clyde Land radio set up and all that for all the disabled and sick ones to have their big day out in Troon, and basically they get down there and there was nothing for Clyde. George Bowie had turned up and that was it, and they had to go into a pub and basically take a pub's karaoke system with Shalani Waddy CDs and get it, and that was used for the Wednesday out. And I mean, I've tweeted with Susie McGuire a few times, and I'm not blaming Susie in this whatsoever, but I tweeted Susie saying, well, what's the crack here? You know, they need to turn up for the rains, nothing back. You know, mate, so it's a whole, I mean, you even look at the lassie who used to go to George Albert's, who's a DJ now on Radio Clyde. I mean, George Albert's dumped her because she got his dog knocked in, and then she comes back to Scotland within 6 months, told me she's a DJ on Radio Clyde.
Who's that?
The lassie Knox.
Knoxy, right.
As I say, mate, I just sit listening to Bob Dylan CDs, mate. If it's not real media, then I don't listen to it, you know, because...
Tell me this, Hail Media, mate. What is going on there? That is just fantastic. What's going on there? I know, look at all these shows there. It's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, it's...
I've got a lot of the lads I met live in Canada and America and all that, and I worked overseas for a lot of years, Tommy, and they'll just go to and listen, the work you do is absolutely world class, mate. But see, if guys like yourself and wee Terry that phones in, like, see if one of the Celtic fans just get up for 2 weeks, mate. Just let them go on, mate, and they can talk about Sevco, and it'll just die.
Well, do you know, mate, half the time I don't listen to them, mate. I really don't, and I mean, the times when I do love listening to the way the Rangers go, the Sevco fans go in there, greeting about everything, you know. But then a lot of the time, the reason why I don't bother is when I get sick of hearing them, because I'm like, it's just a repeat of the same old nonsense. You like you say.
When you look at the standard of conversation we're having to do, two daft bampots, it's probably got 3 levels in between us, Tommy, right? And there's very little.
You've got all the 3 of them.
There's no any vulgarism or anything like that, and there's no hateism, but there's people listening to it live. I mean, I'd love to see the boys, the stuff happen all that day. If you could, if there's enough shows, I mean, obviously he's doing one in Australia at the moment, I'll get up and listen to, but the plan is it's got to be that we just have worry and stuff, and we just have worry, we don't bother about anything else, whether it be Celtic. I mean, I'm delighted that Rafe Rovers are coming to Celtic Park. I'd love to see a gesture that Peter Lawwell says, do you know what, we've been in the Champions League, just take all the money.
For the game, aye.
You know, I mean, say, look, we'll keep the money for the pies and all that. Obviously, keep things tight now, but the money for the match, thanks for everything, you know, and God knows what Chick Young and all that would say then, Tommy, you know.
I love listening to that podcast from the TikTok boys for the Shambolics.
I was at Paul's book launch on Saturday night, mate. Oh, they turned up with tractors and all that Celtic mob, mate. If you're not fake Glasgow, you're not real.
They're brilliant, mate. I mean, that one where they went to Rafe Rovers for the thing, man. And good on them, that. I mean, and the boys that are doing that is just amazing.
You look at the standard of stuff, and you knocked out the stuff on YouTube, they call them guys, and it's interviews and all that. And as I say with YouTube and all that, Tommy, there's no need. I mean, what do these people go to journalism school for 4 years to sit at a Clyde Land desk and just, if anybody asks them a decent question, they just turn you off or switch you off?
I'm going to try and do a few live commentaries this season. The one I'm going to think of doing now. See, it's just during the times of day. I mean, this early morning Saturday and Sunday nonsense. I mean, I'm still in my kip at that time at 12:30. I mean, I don't get to sleep about 6:30, 7:30 sometimes. So sometimes, unless I'm going to the away games, do I get up early? You know what I mean? But when the Wayne was moaning, she was like, "Oh, how we not going to these? Like, look, we're trying to save up to take you to Barca and Lisbon. I mean, calm down, then. We're going to all the ones away. It all costs money. I mean, she's like, but I'm scunnered in a huge way. See what's happened? I'm really. Well, I'm looking to work my ticket out here. See if there's any huddlers out there listening to this in Canada, in Australia, in the Middle East. See if you can get me a job. Going to PM me, going to DM. You know how to get a hold of me. I mean, please, I want my ticket out of this zombie land because I've been looking for it for 5-6 years. A serious request. If anybody's got a job out there for a mad crackpot, then fill me in, fill my boots. Right, anyway.
You can't leave, Tommy. We've got a moss table at the place where Ivers used to be, mate. You know what I mean? A place of multicultural religion, mate. You know, we'll go in the evening there.
Mate, I've got my last play of the cards. That's what I'm saying. Come a week and a half, right? I've got BDO's number. I've got Malcolm Cohen, right? I've got all the rest of them. I'll share it with you if you need to see the site where the thing where I've got. But it's there, mate. I've got the numbers. And I've got one last play of the dice, mate. And if it doesn't come off, then I'll fold in my cards and I'm doing walking away to Canada or Toronto or fucking Madagascar or whatever it takes, mate.
Toronto's a fantastic city. I was there a few months ago. I met the Bold Deco. He looked after us when I was over there. But no, as I say, mate, I mean, the plan's got to be. I mean, if Davey and the boys are doing a podcast a few years, and then the other lads are doing a couple of heel things, mate. If people's get 3 or 4 hours with a heel media stuff a day to listen to me if you're going to work or just sitting in the house. But you know, I've stopped listening to that sports sound now because even that sports scene on Sunday night that they showed Sevco in their Division 3 team. They're showing the Motherwell game against them, mate. I mean, who are they trying to kid?
I know.
You know what I mean? That Rob McLean and all that. It's absolutely. It's good in a way it's dragged out, Tommy, because they've showed their cards very cheaply, mate. They've showed their hands and how bad they are.
I know, mate. I know.
So when the organisation does vanish, and listen, you can't blame them. They've had 20 years of good stories after when Italian players turning up, being told not to bless themselves and don't wear crucifixes and all that. So the party's over now. Keevans has requested not to be allowed into Celtic Park. And that was the thing. I was sitting there at that European game the other night and I went, great, he's going to sit in the house and watch this. He's not getting his free coffee, his free pie, his free programme, and his pre-match drinks or whatever. You know what I mean? We're the big shots in Scottish football now, Tommy, and we should be getting a bit more respect than we have been, mate. You know what I mean?
I know, and he is so bankrupt it's just beyond belief. Did you hear him talking about it, right? And he thinks he's got this right, and he quotes it. If anybody says, "Oh, you don't pay to go in," well, you don't pay to go into your work, you know. And the guy, he's no love of football, and he's no knowledge of football. There's never a player from anywhere outside that has came to these shores that he knows one thing about them. It's as if he's no got Sky Sports. I've heard he's a presenter that used to be on Talk Sport and worked in the same building. Says nobody likes him. He's a mean old codger. And this was before he hit his 60s, so all through his life he's been a mean old codger.
You remember he was the head sports writer at the Scotsman, and they didn't like him because obviously he was glass speaking right for a paper, and because Fergus McCann wouldn't give him the scoop on who the next Celtic manager was when Wim Jansen got the job, and he said it was going to be Arthur George, the Portuguese coach, and Graham Spears replaced him at the Scotsman. Spears was his understudy. And ever since then, obviously, he's been dumped down in the papers and he's in the Daily Ranger, right, you know?
He's just playing his card out there. He's just playing out for retirement now, you know what I mean? You know?
Well, surely, Tommy, he must have had enough money over the years, mate, to sit back now and embarrass himself less. Because, I mean, it's just, you're cringing now, and they're getting guys like that, Stephen Craig, on now. And there's obviously been briefed in what to say and what not to say.
I know, mate. It's the same, like you said there earlier, it's the same regurgitated piss. I mean, that last year was on the phone, she was moaning because I dared to bring it on to the Freemasons. And I said, listen, I says, that was a valid question, he couldn't even answer it. But I mean, like you say, with the guys who do the Hail media, and we're never ever going to be as professional as these burger chain radio. I mean, that Bauer radio, I mean, it's just the same regurgitated nonsense, even when they're not doing the phone ins, you know what I mean? So the same music, but with people who are doing it for the love of doing it, who want to just take the time out to do an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, and then, like you say, all the people with the way the technology is, the next day, that hour, and for the rest of the day, people can listen to a crackpot like myself and download it, put it on their thing with their iTunes or whatever, and they've got now dozens of them all over the place for Celtic. And the way forward is you know, when we've got 3 dozen, when we've got about 40 of them, and it doesn't matter you know, how poor the quality is, but as long as we're talking about what we want to talk about in here, because I know I love hearing other Glaswegians, other Celtic fans, other Irish fans talking about Celtic. It's something I love to hear, and it's people like me. So what's not to like, as you're all saying?
I think there's the only one of the few positives out of this for me is obviously Scottish media and journalism being shown up for what it is. But I think the other most important thing is it's shown that Celtic are a separate entity for our old pals for Ibrox, because now teams like Raith Rovers and whatever, there's a bit of camaraderie in Scottish football again. You know, everybody's sort of like, well, look at this show, this excited 80s on. And we've all stuck together now, and hopefully it'll last. But I mean, when Scottish football will be one, it'll be like a good Glasgow wedding, it'll be one good night out, and then it'll be back to normal, everybody will be rolling about each other again, mate, you know what I mean? But hopefully it'll work out, mate. But no, as I say, Tommy, I mean, guys like yourself and the boys for Hail Media and Graham Schofield, I mean, the stuff, I'd love Graham to go to Radio Clyde one night and just show them all up. That boy sits in America and they can just spout off fact after fact.
Oh, guys, got it going down, I tell you, see what you're saying? You know, people, the old adage is, you would think with somebody from North America, or like that, he'll know nothing about football, but as soon as you hear the boy talking, you're like, well, he's just, that guy's right on the ball, I mean, he's got it going down. He's like, I love the boy, I love it. All the ones that are doing it, I mean, on every single one of them, people who sit there and don't do it, I've not tried anything like that. You want just to get off a base and do something like that's how hard it is to have the confidence to do it. I mean, like I said earlier on, I've been phoning the radio stations most of my life, so talking away then when I became a salesman. So for me, it might become easy, but other even to do it. But just for me, my problem is getting the time to do it and having the thing made just to. But now that I've got this Spreaker, we'll see what happens. But I mean, the amount of people who are doing it out there, and they should be applauded, each and every one of them, because
it's caused real radio to close down, and obviously the old reason was because obviously Sevco's finished last season. Once the body died and became the zombie, that they didn't think it was beneficial for them anymore. But I think Radio Clyde's got half the figures, Tommy, and the newspapers are all down. The Glasgow Herald's now changed their reporter stance to they're only going to report their sales once every 6 months. I mean, these people are basically, they're sinking their own ship to try and save that one.
That's the Armageddon, they're talking about. But out of this death, we've got a last minute to go. We're going to celebrate the birth of something good, and that is Celtic Football Club, and that is our fans, and we're going to grow from strength to strength. We're going to take it from Moscow to Lisbon to Barcelona and keep the message. I mean, people know in Barcelona what Celtic's all about. They know what Rangers are all about. Final point from yourself, and we'll let it go for the night, brother.
No, mate, that'd be fantastic talking to you, pal. As I say, a few months ago we were doubting that they actually would go out of business and were going to get saved by Masonic cabals and all that. But no, keep up the good work and stay off at Radio Clyde, Jessica, and I'll talk to you soon, brother.
God bless, mate. Hail, right?
Alright, pal, you take care. Ta-ra, pal.
Bye-bye. That was the old Steve Airphones. He's a mainstay of all the shows there, a good lad. From iPhone's Homeboys. So Homeboys, 11 o'clock. This was a warm-up. I left a message, that was the best we could get. That was the best, my PR. Sorry, Harper. I could only get one message machine or somebody there. Well, listen, I'll be up the crack of dawn tomorrow. Hopefully I can go in there and help you fill some more time with my crack pottery for manage it up. Hail, hail everybody out there. God bless, good night, until the next time. I don't know when the next time will be, but soon, because I like this wee speaker. God bless. Hail, hail. Bye bye.